Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess. If for folks who are just coming in, if you would like to put your name, where home is for you, and what your child's major is in the chat, that would be great. I see some folks raising their hands. If y'all could just put where you're from, your name, and your student's major in the chat, that would be great.
They're putting in the Q&A that the chat is disabled.
Okay, let me see. Okay, it should be fixed. Perfect. See some Pennsylvania folks, a lot of East Coasters, very nice. Oh, I see New Jersey, that's my home. Some New York, love to see it. Oh, wow, we have someone from Chicago joining us. Welcome.
I think the person from Puerto Rico might get it for furthest away.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh, Vermont.
Oh, I see a California.
Might be tie there.
Yeah. Paris, France. Wow.
Oh,
International, very nice. Welcome.
impressive.
Some Georgia, Chicago, very nice.
It's a pretty strong showing from Pennsylvania, though.
Oh, yes, definitely. Public health major, that's what I was.
Very cool. Virginia. Maryland. Well, don't worry about Maryland not being too far. We always have a good contingent of students come up to Temple from Maryland.
Yes, definitely.
New Jersey's making a strong showing today.
Another Chicago, very nice.
Couple more Virginias. All
A
kinds of majors.
Boston,
STHM, psychology.
some education
Awesome.
majors.
Cybersecurity, always
Very,
popular these
very
days.
cool.
Okay, so some folks are saying in the Q&A that they can't see responses in the chat.
Let me figure that out really quick.
Theater arts, pre-law.
Okay, that should work. Okay, perfect. Art education, very nice. Forensic psychology, that's very interesting. Sun and engineering, that's what my brother is majoring in. Washington State, wow. I guess it's morning for you then. Hey, thank you everyone. We are going to get started. Welcome to the Parent and Family Orientation Student Finances edition. My name is Olivia, and I am the graduate intern for the Temple University's new Student and Family Programs Office. We are so glad to have you today and that you were able to join us. We would love to know more about everyone who is with us today, so please introduce yourself in the chat if you have not done so already. Please include your name, where you call home, and your student's major. We have enabled closed captioning for this session. To view the captions, please click Captions, then select Show Captions. Just a heads up, this session will be recorded, and the slides and links will be shared after today on the Parent and Family Orientation Hub. Today, we are joined with some people from One Stop Student Services and the Bursar's office. All of these offices work directly to provide direct support to Temple University students regarding financial inquiries. We'll start by having them share a brief introduction of themselves before we move into their presentation. Following their presentations, we will have a question and answer session for the remainder of our time together. We will get started with the presentation shortly. If we are going to use the Q&A feature, the question and answer feature for your questions. So you'll just click the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to open the window, type your question into the text field, and if you would like your question to be anonymous, check the Send Anonymously button, and then click Send. Your question will not be viewable to the rest of the participants until it has been answered. And throughout the presentations and questions, we will share helpful links related to the questions that you all have. We will try our very best to answer all of your questions, but this session is only an hour, so we may not get to all of them. We'll provide contact information at the end if you would like to follow up with any of our campus partners here today. If you have any questions related to housing and meal plans, safety, academics, student involvement, or health and well-being, please refer to our upcoming webinars for those respective topics as this session pertains to student finances. Okay, it is time for our panelists to introduce themselves to you and share some information about their department. If One Stop Student Services would like to go first.
Sure. So my name is Cassie Dragos Pearson. I am an associate director in Temple's Financial Aid Office, and I'm here to represent the One Stop Student Services. One Stop Student Services is a one hub for students to come with questions about their financial aid, admissions information, general questions about the university. We're located on the ground floor of Carnell Hall in the lobby that used to be Student Financial Services, if you're familiar with Temple setup. So the One Stop is, like I said, an opportunity for students to come down and get connected with different services. We have financial aid support professionals who are trained to navigate students through their available resources, talk through billing and what those options are. We also have student success specialists who will help connect students with the right campus resources so they can stay on track here at the university. Next slide. We also offer support with admissions, the registrar, like I said, student financial services and student success. Although probably financial aid is our biggest bunch of questions. And I have some slides about that to help. So next slide. To connect with the One Stop, like I said, ground floor of Carnell Hall. It's at 1801 North Broad. You can scan the QR code for information on how to join the queue. Emails can go to onestop@temple.edu or sfs@temple.edu if you have financial aid specific questions. So diving right in, financial aid offers for incoming fall 2025 students have been issued and are ongoing as students apply and are admitted. They are accessible from TU Portal for deposited students. So you want to log in, go to TU Portal and go to the Costs and Aid tab. The Costs and Aid tab has all kinds of really great information. There's the link there to view the financial aid offer. There's the link there to our Scholarship Universe database. And the financial aid package down under self-service banner is where students can accept their financial aid offer. If we require any additional information or if we have any requirements that the student needs to submit, then that would be up here at this top where it says financial aid requirements. The example here doesn't have any, so he's nice and happy, but that's usually where we would post things if we do require additional information. Next slide. And then to give you just an idea of what the financial aid offer looks like, in case you haven't had a chance to view your students yet, it has several sections that go through a breakdown of the students' costs and aid. It's really important for you to know that this is not the bill. This doesn't reflect what the bill is going to, the bill looks different. This is just a planning tool. So you have a gift aid section where we list any grants or scholarships that the student may be eligible for. We break down the cost of attendance. If your student is going to live on or off campus, they have a housing budget because sometimes students need to take a student loan to pay for those expenses. And so we have to include a budget in there to process that funding. We also give you budgets for books and supplies or transportation, just in case, again, you need to be factoring that into what money you request or what you receive for financial aid. Down at the bottom, you have two different ways to kind of anticipate your out-of-pocket. The picture on the left is just an idea of what the bill will look like. That is direct costs, that would be tuition and fees, housing and food, minus gift aid, to give you an idea of what that gap is for the year. And then on the right-hand side is the estimated net cost minus gift aid. This is usually the answer to the question, what is the maximum in financial aid I can use or I can get? This is taking the full cost of attendance minus the gift aid and giving you that overall gap if you're going to factor in books and transportation and personal items into your overall financial aid package. Next slide. Then students, if they're eligible, would have work study offer. Work study is a federally subsidized program in which students can obtain a work study position and they earn money through working. Not every student is eligible and not every student employment position is work study. Then you have the loan offer. Federal loans are offered to students based on grade level and dependency status as part of their financial aid package under the FAFSA. Some students qualify for the need-based subsidized. Some students would just be given the unsubsidized for the total amount. The amount listed here is for an independent student. Dependent students qualify for slightly less. So the other thing to keep in mind with the aid offer is that they are very specific to the student and not every offer looks alike. So next slide. Thank you. As I mentioned before, sometimes we require additional information from students. The Federal Department of Education has been selecting students for a process called verification. Sometimes we are made aware of conflicting information that we need to clear up. So when that happens, students want to monitor their TU portal for that need to submit/resubmit notice. So on the prior screen, it was a happy face. Now it's a triangle to try to get your attention. Some requirements require documents. If you click on the requirement, it'll take you to where you need to provide the information. We ask that you please do not email documentation because sometimes it's sensitive, like your tax returns have your social security number on it. You don't want to just attach that to an email and send it out. We do have a TU SafeSend system, which is encrypted and provides a safe way for providing documents. But most of our document requests can be uploaded through a secure and encrypted channel. Next. A big question that we tend to get is about additional scholarships. So the financial aid offer that's been issued to students represents their maximum eligibility based on FAFSA and admissions information. Additional scholarships at this point would come from outside sources. And for that, we offer Scholarship Universe. This is a free scholarship database. It has over 15,000 vetted, legitimate outside scholarship opportunities for students. Students will log in. It is single sign-on with their TU portal. They answer a questionnaire, and the more questions they answer, the more it filters through that database to find potential matches. Students can then start applying for outside scholarships to help supplement their aid. Some of the academic departments do have scholarships to offer returning students. So students can apply for those usually midway through their first year. You generally have to establish a Temple GPA for most departments, but students can certainly reach out to their academic advisors or read up on the information on their department websites about those specific scholarships. We recommend that students search and apply for scholarships year-round. Start now and keep going. Be careful about who you submit information to. Legitimate scholarship opportunities will not ask you to pay. They should not need your social security number. If they require any kind of financial need information, they'll have a form for you to bring to the financial aid office. So, if they're asking you straight up for personal information, it might not be legitimate. We also ask that if you are awarded outside scholarships, to please let the financial aid office know so that one, we can anticipate the payment, make sure it gets processed correctly, and sometimes it requires a slight adjustment to the student's account. We want to make sure that we do everything in a timely manner. So if you are awarded a scholarship, please do let us know. Next slide. The Federal Work-Study Program, which is what I mentioned earlier with the aid offer, like I said, is a need-based federal grant. Students can earn money from a part-time job. It is need-based. Students need to file the FAFSA and have documented financial need, which is determined when we issue the aid offer. If they are eligible, we include work-study as part of that financial aid offer. We have positions on campus and we have positions off campus. On-campus positions are listed under Careers at Temple, which is TU Portal, TU Applications, Careers at Temple. The off-campus job bank is hosted on our website, sfs.temple.edu. Next. Thank you. So applying for a work-study position, students, when it's posted through Careers at Temple, the position should already be clear if it requires federal work-study, and the student would, indicate that as they go through the hiring process. It's important to know that we do not guarantee or provide work-study positions for students. We have a lot of eligible students. We might not have a position for everybody. So it is the student's responsibility to search for, apply for, and obtain that position. For off-campus positions, we work with local nonprofits. They have to have certain eligibility criteria to qualify for the federal work-study program and have a contract with their office to be an approved partner. So we do maintain and update that list throughout the year. That is, again, accessible on our website, no login required, and you can see the pay rate, the location, and any other information. So. So on that aid offer, we had seen a bit of a gap between the direct costs on the bill or the overall cost of attendance. With that, students usually have to look into loans in order to cover that gap. There are two supplemental loan programs. One is called the Federal Parent Plus, which is borrowed by the parent of the student through the Department of Education. The other one is private loans, which are borrowed by the student with a cosigner. For that, you pick a private loan lender. And we do have a page for each one on our SFS website. We begin processing in mid to late July. So we recommend submitting those loan applications in mid to late July. The billing notification is going to go out July 21st, and that's when you'll know for sure what you need for the fall semester. You want to take that amount, double it, because you're going to factor spring into your loan application, and that is what you want to apply for. We certify loans for the full year. They're split 50-50, half for fall and half for spring. We do not do semester-only loans except for very few, very specific circumstances, which are outlined on their website. You also want to be aware of loan origination fees. So for example, the Federal Parent Plus loan has a 4.228% fee. So when you're requesting, 4.2% of that loan is going to be taken by the department when the money disperses to Temple. So you want to make sure you round up to include that information. Next slide. Financial aid disbursement begins about 2 business days before the start of term. So I believe fall begins August 25th, I want to say. So about Wednesday before we start dispersing the fall financial aid. Excess financial aid funds are released as a refund during the first week of class. So if you're living off campus and you're planning on using that refund to pay your rent, you want to plan accordingly because anything owed before then is going to have to be paid out of pocket. All documentation and enrollment requirements must also be satisfied prior to disbursement. So if you are selected for federal verification, you have to complete that process before we can disperse your aid. And then, of course, we have some type of aid that disperses late. So for all of our friends from the District of Columbia who have DC tag, 1, send us your letters. 2, that money comes in mid-October and mid-February each year. We have to wait till enrollment is locked after add drop. We invoice DC tag, then they literally put a check in the mail. So that money tends to come in late October. But if you send us the letter, we'll know to account for it so that you avoid any payment plan or other fees. Pennsylvania State Grant also cannot disperse till after add drop and we have confirmed enrollment. Pittsburgh Promise, the same thing. If anybody is here from Massachusetts who applies for a Mass grant, same process. We have to confirm enrollment, which is after the add drop date, and then we can disperse the funding. Next, Karen.
Hi, Cassie. Thank you. That was great information. A lot of information, good information. Good afternoon, all. My name is Karen Thompson. I'm the Financial Wellness Coordinator here at the Bursar's office. Next slide, please. Next slide. And I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the Bursar's office, what we provide. We generate, of course, balance due notification, meaning the bill for tuition fees, housing, and meal plan. We also process student account payments, and we promote financial literacy and wellness through our iGrad platform, and as well as offer initiatives throughout the academic year. Next slide. Let me close my window. Oh, sorry about that. Payments, we accept cash, of course, check, electronic check, and credit card. Our method of payment is in the office. You can bring cash, check, money order. Online, of course, is preferred, and you can pay by check or electronic check and credit card. For these credit card payments, however, I do want to let you know that there is a 2.85% convenience fee on top of that. That's not what Temple does, but that is our third party, Nelnet, which processes the credit card payments. And of course, for an international student, we use Flywire. Next slide, please. Authorized payer, this is very important. We strongly suggest your student to sign you up as an authorized payer. And what that does is you will receive the balance due notification emails the same time that your student does, and you can make payments online for the student's account. Next slide, please. What's new this year is tuition insurance, and Temple University has partnered with GradGuard to offer this. What this does, this plan helps students and families overcome any financial losses that may result in the event that forces students to withdraw for a covered reason anytime during the semester. Some of the reasons are, of course, serious injury, chronic illness, mental health conditions, loss of employment of the tuition payer, and death of the payer. After the charges have been posted to the student's account, the student and the authorized payer will be presented with the opportunity to purchase this tuition insurance through TUPay. Please know that this insurance policy is voluntarily. It is not offered, sold, endorsed, administered, or guaranteed by Temple University. This is just a new option for our students and parents. Next slide, please. A tuition calculator. The tuition calculator allows students and families to estimate the cost of tuition and fees for the semester as well as for the academic year. Note that we are still in the 24-25 academic year. The tuition rates have not been finalized yet. It should be within the next, I say, Cassie, within the next couple weeks. But this gives you a very close estimate of what the tuition and fees will be for the next academic year. Next slide. Direct deposit, as Cassie was mentioning, if students and families will provide additional resources for that student in order to get books, maybe outside housing or other things, and they are anticipating a refund, we strongly suggest that that student signs up for direct deposit. The refunds will be available sooner. They're safely deposited directly into the student's account. The other option is if the student does not sign up for direct deposit, they will receive a refund, and that is by snail mail because those checks are being processed through Nebraska. Next slide. Financial literacy, of course, iGrad, we use that platform to educate our students on how to effectively manage their finance. This is another tool for scholarship searches. Student Loan Snapshot has courses, articles, webinars, quizzes, and games. And this is free and open to all of our students. How to contact us, please use us. We're here for you. Our telephone number is 215-204-7269. And you can email us, of course, at bursar@temple.edu. If you want to walk in, our hours are from 8:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Thank you for your time.
Okay, great. Thank you, Karen and Cassie. Now it is time for the Q&A section of our webinar. So if you all have any questions, if you could put that in the Q&A portion of the Zoom, that would be great. Okay. First question. Can you please give info on how a student should start the work-study process when they get to campus? And how do students apply to jobs that fall under work-study?
Sure. So the on-campus work-study positions are posted by the employers over the summer. The earliest a student can begin working is the week before classes begin. So your student should can log into TU Portal, go to TU Applications, that's the big drop-down menu, and select Careers at Temple. Since they are a student, they will only be given access to positions posted for student workers. So they can look that way for positions on campus, and they can submit their application through there. It is very similar to how you might be applying for a position at another university or elsewhere. Students apply. If they have a resume, they can provide a resume. And then it'll be up to the potential employer to sort through and contact anybody they're interested in bringing in for an interview. For off-campus positions, our website has that off-campus job link, that whole page, and it'll have individual contact information based on the position. So for example, the Philadelphia Free Library is our largest off-campus partner for federal work study. And so any position we have posted there will have within that drop down and the job description, the contact and how to apply for that position. Students can start looking over the summer, but again, the earliest they can begin working is the week before classes begin. So some employers might not be hiring just yet since it's really early in July. Great question.
Great, thank you so much, Cassie. Next question. Is there a deadline to accept a financial aid offer?
There's not a hard deadline, but you really want to have this finalized by the end of the summer. The fall bill is due September 11th. And like I said, we start dispersing aid at the end of August. So you don't have to do it today, but I really recommend that you have a plan in place on how you're going to pay that bill coming into early August to give yourself time.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Someone is wondering, my daughter's financial aid package has not yet been received yet. What should we do?
So there could be a couple of reasons for that. There might be outstanding requirements. So take a look at the cost and aid tab of TU portal. Make sure that they provided their social security number and that it's accurate, because we do need that to match the information. Otherwise, you want to reach out to the One Stop or to sfs@temple.edu in order for someone to take a look into the system and find out exactly what's going on.
And the next question, when should students start applying for loans, or is it too late for this year?
It is not too late. We recommend mid-July. So the executive board will set tuition in the next couple of days. Charges for registered students are going to be assessed mid-July. They are assessed to students as they register through July. And then the official billing notification will be sent out to students and authorized payers starting July 21st. If students register after July 21st, they'll get that notification generally the following Monday. Once you get that notification, that is a great time to put in that loan application. So I would say anytime between mid-July and really about the second week of August, because if you're going to use a private loan, you need to factor in about 2 to 3 weeks of processing from the lender's perspective and under federal mandates. So I would say, again, mid-July to early August is your window.
Great, that's super helpful. Next question, is there a guide to really understand what is offered and what we are supposed to pay?
So that would be the financial aid offer. That's the Student Financial Services website. Come into the One Stop to meet with somebody during walk-in hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8:30 to 4. The aid offer, like I said, is a breakdown of costs and anticipated expenses. If you're not going to live on campus, if you're going to live off campus, you might have to do a little math on your own. But you can make an appointment with the One Stop through that QR code. We have information on our website with a lot of really good information for students. We have individual pages for different loans. I would be careful sharing out the specific PDF links. That one looked a little outdated. But you can also, like I said, make an appointment with the One Stop over a Zoom or a call back for someone for over about 20 minutes to go through. But honestly, once you get that bill, you'll have a clear idea of what's owed.
Okay, great. Are people eligible for a special circumstance appeal based on their FAFSA, or is it only for Pell Grant recipients?
So no, anybody can put in a special circumstances appeal if their finances have changed. The issue is that we can only award federal Pell Grant as an outcome. So we can't guarantee. So if, for example, someone has been laid off, one of the parents, first that income has to be reported on the FAFSA. Then the student can submit a special circumstances appeal to have their federal aid eligibility reevaluated. But due to funding limitations, we cannot extend Temple grant or other institutional funding as a result of that income loss. So we do only consider it for federal Pell Grant eligibility.
Okay, great. What is the best way to let the financial aid office know about a scholarship award? Should they email them?
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Have the student send us a copy of the scholarship letter over to USafeSend.
Okay, perfect. And could you elaborate on the TIPP payment plan program?
Karen, you want to take that one?
I'm sorry, is that for me? Can you please repeat that?
Yeah. Okay. Could you please elaborate on the TIPP payment plan program?
Sure, I'm sorry, someone came into my office, so it's called TIP. And what that is, it gives families the opportunity to interest-free payment plan. It is spread out for 10 months, beginning in May. 5 of those payments will be applied to the fall bill. The other 5 payments will be applied to the spring semester bill. If you decide that you're going to use this TIP payment plan, of course, it is an $80 enrollment fee. That plan did start in May. It's still open. However, it is administered by Nelnet Campus Commerce. So what they would want you, since the plan started in May, they would want you to play catch up, meaning that you would need to make a May payment, a June payment, and the payments come out the 16th of every month, whether you're going to use your checking account or you're going to use a credit card. So you know we're in the month of July, so just foresee that you will be making 3 payments for the month coming up in the month of July. But it is a good option and it is a good plan to use.
Great, thank you, Karen. Are there any support or benefits for out-of-state students?
In terms of financial support,
Yes.
okay, so out-of-state students have a higher tuition rate. Since we're a public state affiliate institution, we get a portion, our state funding from Pennsylvania is designed to give a tuition discount to Pennsylvania residents. So out-of-state students do have a higher tuition rate that is factored into their overall cost of attendance. And that cost of attendance is used to calculate the student's financial need and eligibility for grants such as the Temple grant. Unfortunately, we do not have anything specific to out-of-state students or students from a particular state.
Okay, great. Can I add an additional lump sum to reduce my Nelnet payment plan amount?
I think that what your question poses is that you're on a Nelnet payment plan, you're making monthly payments, but for one of the months, you want to make a payment more than the established payment, than the set payment? Is that the question?
Yes.
You have to remember that these payments are scheduled, so meaning that they're coming out each month, either from your checking account or from your credit card payment. So to make a payment over and above that, you probably would need to, number one is contact them. Contact Nelnet to see, number one, if that can be done, because again, these are equal payments spread out over 10 months.
Okay, great. Thank you. Can you speak more about the TU tuition payment plan?
That's the tip plan. Yeah.
The tip,
Oh, okay, great.
yeah, the tip payment plan, again, is interest-free. It's $80 enrollment. The plan is for 10 months, starting in May. 5 of those payments will be applied to the fall semester. The other 5 payments will be applied to the spring semester. For students and for families maybe who have started the tip payment plan or have not started the tip payment plan, and they received their financial aid and they find out maybe they need to add a little bit more to the tip payment plan or a little less to the payment plan, that can be done. What will happen is for the payments the remaining payments that you have to make, they will either be decreased or they will be increased. So there is flexibility with that plan. And, and for what the amount that is owed to the university, you do not have to put it on the tip payment plan. You have those options. Maybe you want to take a loan, maybe you have a 529, or you have a scholarship that's coming in. So that's just another tool that you can use. And again, that is optional to use the tip payment plan.
Great. Thank you, Karen. With the work study position, does the entire paycheck go towards the tuition?
Ooh, good question. No, it doesn't. Students are paid bi-weekly in a paycheck. It does not pay to the bill. Work study is not really an effective way to think about paying the bill because the fall bill is due September 11th. You have an option of a deferred payment plan if you wish, but to extend that into October. But the fall bill has to be paid in full by mid-October in order for the student to access registration at the beginning of November. And work study is earned by the student for the length of the semester or the academic year. And it doesn't have a very high earning potential. Like you saw, the base offers $1,500 for the year. We can increase that up to usually about $3,000 depending on the student's employment, but these jobs are 10 to 15 hours a week. So the student's not going to really earn enough early enough to pay the bill with work study funds. This is just another type of a part-time job for a student to earn money to maybe afford their social life or maybe help pay for their cell phone bill or such while they gain experience, but those funds do not pay to the bill.
Great. Thank you. Are there any additional financial aid options for Temple Promise recipients?
So the Temple, okay. So the Temple Promise Program is a last dollar financial aid program extended to a select population of students. This program ensures that after the application of all gift aid to the tuition, which is what you pay to go to class, not housing, not books, not transportation, but the tuition and fees. If there's anything owed for the tuition and fees, Temple will cover that difference. That is what the Temple Promise program is. So students who are eligible for the program, who are automatically included in the program, if they live on campus, they are responsible for their housing expenses. They can use their federal subsidized and unsubsidized loans to help bring that down. But usually they need additional funding because housing is usually around $15,000 to $18,000 a year. So Temple Promise students, again, the benefit of that program is to ensure that the primary expense for attending Temple, which is tuition and mandatory university services fees, are covered by gift aid, that students don't have to take loans to pay that expense. But other expenses are their responsibility, and that's usually where loans or work study comes in to help offset.
Great. Thank you. You mentioned this before, but can you explain again that if financial circumstances have shifted since the financial aid awards were originally granted, what is the process for requesting an appeal?
Sure. So we have a page on the SFS website under policies for the special circumstances appeal. So the FAFSA is based on the 2023 tax and income information. If since the FAFSA was filed or the 2023 taxes were filed, the family has had a significant change of circumstances. Unemployment, a parent passes away, excessively high paid out-of-pocket medical expenses. If there is a one-time only distribution from a retirement account reported on the taxes, students can request the special circumstances appeal to have their eligibility for the federal Pell Grant reevaluated based on that change of income or that circumstance.
Great, thank you. If my student changed their major prior to starting, will they lose their merit scholarship if it was granted through the previous college?
So the scholarships granted through the admissions office, which are a little generically sounding, founders, deans, Temple University, provost, those are not tied to major. Those are based on the strength of the student's admissions application and is not major specific. So changing your major will not affect that. However, if you're for example, admitted to the College of Engineering and you were given a future engineers scholarship, and then you decide you're going to go to CLA and you're going to study history, you do become ineligible for the engineering scholarship because you're moving out of the major, and that is something tied to the major. And there is no guarantee that the major you move into will have a corresponding scholarship or funding available to offset that loss. So you do want to be cognizant of those potential changes. But in general, the admissions-based merit tuition scholarships are not tied to major. So changing major should not affect those scholarships. Just the ones that are clearly identified with a major, like the Fox Endowed or the STHM Endowed or CST, etc.
Great, thank you. That's super helpful. Can you provide more information on how to make payments using 529?
Sure. So we receive 529 payments for students all the time. Once you receive your billing statement and you decide how much you want to take out of your 529, contact the 529 program. Let them know how much money that you want to take out. They will ask you where you want to send, reference the student's ID number, the student's name, and they'll send the payment directly to Temple University. We receive 529 payments all the time across the country, so it is up to the parents, of course, to contact them and ask them or to tell them how much money that you want to take out of the 529, and they'll send it directly to Temple University.
And if I could just add on to that, just a reminder that the Temple University ID starts with a 9-1. It's not the TU, I think we're up to TUU. That's
I know,
that.
yes, yes.
That's the AccessNet username for students to log into their account at Temple. When we talk about the Temple ID, we mean that 9-digit number. It starts with usually a 916. That's the ID number that we need on all of the documentation.
Yes. Students that use GI Bill benefits and scholarships, do we work with the military and/or Veterans Office or the financial office?
You work with the VA and you work with the, so you want to reach out. If you have questions about that, reach out to the Military Veteran and Student Services Office, mvsc@temple.edu. Military benefits are not considered financial aid the way a student loan or federal Pell Grant is. Because that is a benefit resource, students should declare their eligibility through TU Portal on the Student Tools tab, work with the VA to transfer the benefits to your dependent student. The registrar certifies that. We have a fantastic team of people in our registrar's office and with the Military Veteran Services Office who help process that information. And then that comes in, but that is not processed through the financial aid office.
Great, thank you. This is a good question. Is it too late to apply for scholarships for this year?
No. Well, outside scholarships, no. So outside scholarships, deadlines are open year round. That's Scholarship Universe. When you go in and apply, start doing that questionnaire and you get the list of potential matches, you'll see there's rolling deadlines. So it is not too late. It is not too early. Now, scholarships offered by the admissions office, those decisions are made when you're accepted, and you should be notified if you are eligible. And the departments have already made their decisions for the upcoming year. But the outside scholarship process, that's year-round and ongoing.
And don't forget iGrad. Even if students who log into iGrad, they're automatically selected or pre-selected for a $500 scholarship. That's not to say that all students will get it, because this is iGrad from all schools, but we have had at least 2 students to receive $500 scholarships. So it is worth going in, taking a look, being familiar with the scholarships as well as the information that iGrad provides.
Yes, definitely. Thank you. When we receive a bill, is it a certain amount due each month or the whole semester?
It is due for the entire semester, and the billing due date, like Cassie said, is September the 11th. What will happen is if the entire bill is not paid in full, students are automatically enrolled into what we have as a tuition deferment plan. It is $50. It is automatic. All students are assessed that fee, is non-refundable. However, it gives students a few more weeks in order to make their payments in full.
Okay, great. Next question. If we received an offer for merit-based scholarships, is there anything we need to do, or will it automatically be applied to the total cost of attendance?
It's automatically applied. All gift aid, grants, and scholarships are automatically accepted on behalf of the student. We assume you want the free money. Students have to make an accept or decline decision on their work study and loan offers, because those have strings attached. And so students have to go into the system and give us a clear indication of yes or no. But scholarships and grants do not require additional steps in the system.
Great, thank you. This is the last question. And I'll have this for both of you. What is your best advice for parents and families for this upcoming school year?
Best advice I have is check your email and keep in contact. Students are going to get a lot of email. I'm sorry, it can't be helped. We have a lot to communicate. But students really need to check that Temple email. That's how the university communicates. And parents, keep in touch with your kids. Check in. How are you doing this week? How are your classes going? What activities are you involved in? Showing that investment usually helps. It's a huge adjustment. It's a huge adjustment. And keeping contact with your students really helps them know that they are supported, that it's okay. Gives them an opportunity to share, if they're feeling a certain way but not sure who to talk to, a parent is always a good person for that. So yeah, check your email and keep in touch.
Yes, communication is the key. And what I want to say is, if your son or daughter has not already made you an authorized user, make sure that they do, because once that statement comes out on the 21st, they get a lot of email. They get email overload. But with having an authorized user, the parent also received the email that say, hey, there's a billing statement online. So whether the student looks at, well, we're hoping the student looks at it, but if this student does not look at it, you will already know that there's a billing statement out there. And if it's something that doesn't look quite right at that point in time, because it's early enough, you can contact our office, the billing office, Student Financial Services, and say, hey, I see this bill. Is there something missing? Is it correct? What is our next steps if you're not familiar with that, and any type of guidance that we can provide to you, because we're here Student Financial Services, as well as the Bursar's office, we work hand in hand, and we do not want to see our students fail financially. We don't want to see them fail academically, but financially, we're here to support you. So authorized user, number one. Thank you.
And that brings up one more thing, if I may. The other thing that I would really, really recommend for students is to ask. If you don't know something, ask someone. If you're struggling in class, if you're not sure about the assignment, speak up and ask someone. You ask a professor, ask a TA, come to the one stop and ask questions. I see a lot of students who struggle year after year because they don't know who to ask. They don't realize that they can ask. And the university, college is like the one place where you want to ask all the questions because we're all here to answer them as much as possible. If you couldn't figure out from how much I like to talk. So ask the question, no matter how simple or basic you think it is, ask it. Ask your academic advisor how to find a tutor. Ask your professor if you don't understand the assignment. Ask someone in the one stop if you're not sure if you've got all your financial aid taken care of for the upcoming year, or you don't understand the bill, or you don't know how to look for scholarships. Don't just sit and just go, oh no. Ask someone. I assure you the answer is out there.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have today. Thank you so much to Karen and Cassie for joining us today. You will see their emails on this screen, I'm sorry. They're all more than willing to answer any follow-up questions you may have. In addition, we will post the recording to this session along with the slide deck and helpful links in the Orientation Hub and the Parent and Family Experience portal shortly for your reference. We will be sending out a survey for your feedback, which will help us refine our virtual parent and family orientation sessions in the future. We appreciate you being here with us today. Have a wonderful day.